Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope everybody is having a great week. And if you are new to our show, you found us here at the TALRadio.org platform. We hope you are enjoying many of the great episodes here across different content providers that utilize this platform to give you the content necessary to take you wherever that next level may be on a personal and professional level. We are excited to be a part of the TALRadio platform, now going into our 5th year. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but again, we have much gratitude towards our loyal listeners that have been with us since day one. And again, you new listeners have come in also at the right time, because we continue to evolve, bringing in great subject matter experts sharing their words of wisdom and their authenticity to help raise your level of influence when it comes to business and any kind of personal mission that's important to you. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, I cannot wait to talk about today's show. It is going to be really enlightening, and we're going to be talking about living as an original. Think about your life and how it's evolved over the years, no matter how old you are or what your experience is. You know, are we living our original life? That coming from that place of authenticity. I know for me, I didn't live my authentic self until I reached the age of 31, and that's when I had a life-changing transformation that allowed me to begin stepping into my authentic, genuine self. Well, we're here with someone that has seen all walks of life, and I'm going to tell you, there's no coincidence why they call him the accidental philosopher. Now, you're probably saying, all right, what is that? Well, this is a gentleman who is, had a lot of life experience. He's been around the block many, many times, and someone that is going to be sharing with you today, about living as an original and how, about what led him up to that and what he can share over his experience over the years that will inspire not only people that are either, ready to retire like myself. I'm an older Gen X, but even the younger generations that now this is a time more than ever that we can start to really step up and live as an original. And without further ado, we're going to be welcoming Gordon Hill. Again, he is the accidental philosopher, and I'm going to let him share a little bit about his evolution, where, throughout his life, and what he's going to be sharing with us today to help you do the same. And without further ado, we welcome Gordon Hill to the show. Gordon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And I really appreciate this opportunity to share some of my experiences. It's been an interesting journey. When you talk about retiring, I retired in 2001. I'm currently 88, which is an interesting number. As far as my experiences go, the handle accidental philosopher is my latest. I chose it for two reasons. One, a philosopher is someone who's pondering what it means to be alive, what their place in the world is, and what role they are playing. Accidents, however, are things that happen you did not plan. And my life has been one large sequence of accidents, most of them happy. I was born on January the 1st, 1938. So being a New Year's baby, that's a happy accident.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad was also a New Year's baby. He was 27 when I was born. So we got to hog the TV during the January 1st bowl games, much to the chagrin of Mom and my brother and sister. But my accidents began my junior year in high school. I met the girl I would eventually marry and decided I was going to be a high school math and science teacher. I graduated from high school early in January of '56, was not ready for college, did not do well in the spring semester and summer. Having failed at college, I joined the Air Force And the exams that they give, the aptitude tests they give going in, identified my math and science experience. So I was assigned to an electronics technician tech school. When I married my wife, they told me that whoever graduates top in their class in this school gets their choice of duty. My field, ground radar maintenance, was one where remote duties did not allow dependents. I had just married my high school sweetheart at 19. I wanted to be stationed someplace where she could be with me. So I studied hard, graduated top in the class. May have done too well, because instead of stationing me close to where I had lived, grown up, they kept me as an instructor. So for 2 years, from the age of 19 to 21, I taught 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, most weeks, because we were always short on instructors. So that was my first accident. There have been quite a few more. The next big one, you mentioned that you just figured out who you are at 30. I figured out who I was at 39 when I was laid off from one job and transferred into another in the same company. And all of a sudden, I realized my calling was to be a technical geek. I was deeply immersed in the computer field. I had an engineering degree I'd earned earlier, and I was very much involved in technology. So that happened, and then later in 1986, at the age of 48, the internet bubble burst for our company. I was laid off and became a consultant. Through a happy accident, a buddy asked if I'd ever taught seminars, if I could teach, and I had forgotten about my teaching experience in the Air Force, so I interviewed several seminar companies. One of them hired me, and for the next 14 years, I taught, developed seminars, and trained others to be seminar leaders before I retired in 2001. So that's sort of the overview of my experience. Since then, I just wake up every morning, write in a journal to set myself for the day and get on with it.
Love it. Love it. And can you, and I love the how chronologically you gave us, and you say that they're accidents, but good accidents. Like, these are things that we learn from. What are some of the things that, for our audience listening, again, because we have a wide, diverse group of people, anywhere from Gen Zers, 20, 30 somethings to all the way up to, people in their, 50s, 60s, even 70s that listen to our show. What would be some of the lessons from those accidents, Gordon, you've learned that you could say that I've lived a really good life. This is what I've learned from a personal level, professional level, and things that you can pass on to other people.
That's an interesting question. Recently, I was speaking with some friends and happened to mention that my life has been one of trying to actualize one-liners. For some reason, my mind holds one-line quotations as catalytic thoughts. The earliest is from my mom. It seems, I think every time I left the house, she had the same phrase for me: be good and have fun. If you think about that, if you can live your life being good and having fun, that's a pretty big deal. My dad had a grocery store, and I worked in it when I was in high school. His premise or philosophy for his grocery store is that we treat everyone who comes in this store exactly the same. I don't care if they buy a pack of gum or $100 worth of groceries. And of course, in the 50s, $100 worth of groceries was a lot.
A month or two, probably a couple of months, if not more.
Yeah, but treat everybody the same, which was his thing. And there have been other things along the way, but they haven't all been happy accidents. In 1995, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease and went through 14 chemos. At the time, I was teaching seminars, and my protocol for chemotherapy was chemo every other week. So for 7 months, I had chemo 1 week and went out and taught a seminar someplace in America or Canada the next. And so I did it for 7 months. I through 14 chemos. It was chemo 1 week and teach a seminar the next. I didn't even think about it. I just did it and came to realize afterwards that that's really the way we are successful, is we just deal with what happens. And
I love what you just said. You didn't allow that to keep you down. You didn't like say, woe is me. You kind of said, okay, it is what it is. It's not pleasant, but I'm going to just adapt to what is. And you just kind of focused on what you can control, and that was yourself. And you couldn't control the disease other than just knowing that if I keep moving and not keep, stressing about it and just keep doing what I got to do. And that's gold in terms of wisdom. So please go. I love what you shared.
Well, I think a couple of people, Tiger Woods probably had a great line for it when he was having trouble in the tournament. You grind it out. Or I spent some summers in high school working on a horse farm. And the phrase there is that when a horse gets a bit in its teeth, you can't control it. And so, to me, when life presents those situations, you grind it out. You just put the bit in your teeth and say, okay, I'm going to make this happen. For 14 years, I ran my own business, but 1 year, and I'll keep this anonymous, but a major company asked me to develop a seminar for them, which I did, and they scheduled me to teach that seminar every other week for the year. Unfortunately, they couldn't get enough students to enroll to have the seminars, and I didn't have a fallback payment from them. So I had almost a year of zero income from that, although I was able to make money otherwise.
Yeah.
But you just go through it, and at the end of that year, I connected with another company, and all of a sudden my professional and financial success was assured. So I think part of it is just you keep, or as we said in the service, you keep your head down and your mess get clean.
So true. Love it. And I love, again, like how you shared there, you adapted to what is. You didn't react. You just kind of went with the flow. And sometimes, again, it's not an easy thing, but nonetheless, you adapted. And then sometimes, when you go through a difficult time, there's always something good that comes from at some point. You just got to, I guess what I got from what you shared, you have to trust that process.
I think that's true. In my process of looking at living as an original, being an engineer by both training and mindset, I create models. I create structures that characterize something. And in living as an original, I've created a couple of models that I think make sense, not as a prescription, but more of a framework for what it takes to be successful as an original. Because the great challenge we have is every one of us is unique, and nobody knows what it is we're supposed to be doing. But there are quite a few people who have given us clues, and if we click our Sherlock Holmes gene into action, those clues can be significant. Joseph Campbell's famous line was, "Follow your bliss." The problem with that is, if you look up bliss in the dictionary, bliss means extreme happiness. And I'm not sure we all want to be going through life walking on clouds. But later, in an interview with Bill Moyers, Moyers asked Campbell, he says, well, what do you mean follow your bliss? And Campbell very simply said, it means doing what it is that makes you feel most alive. Then what is it, what desire do you have that would make you feel most alive? Others have said the same thing. Peter Drucker, so many of your viewers probably know Drucker, the father of modern management. In an interview again with Bill Moyers, Moyers asked Drucker, he said, well, what do you recommend for people to succeed in the 21st century? And Drucker's answer was very simple. Know your strengths. Know what you're good at. Most of us believe we're supposed to work hard. That's not how you're successful. You're successful when you do what you're good at. And when you're doing what you're good at, it's not hard work. It's time consuming, it can be exhausting. But if you're doing what you're good at, if you're engaging in what's natural in your talent, then you're going to be successful. May not make a lot of money, but you'll be successful. So it's kind of what happens. And so here I am at 88 trying to do what I'm good at. And what I'm good at right now is writing about what it takes to live as an original. And there isn't a prescription for that. However, there is a framework. And the framework means living as who you really are, doing what it is you really want to do, and being the person you feel is the person you really are.
Yeah. You know, I could say that, you know, I did so many things early in my life because, you know, I had a father who grew up poor, and my dad's goal in life that he would never want to be poor again. And you know, he didn't like my grandfather because my grandfather wasn't a hard worker and my father was. But see, there was a price to be paid for that. My dad sacrificed his own well-being for it. He sacrificed even, you know, the things he should have been as a father with my brother and I, and there was repercussions, obviously. And, you know, I remember my dad died at the age of 56 of lung cancer, and you know, never got to enjoy the fruits of his efforts to the level he could have because he was successful, but he wasn't successful with his own, you know, he missed out on the other things that were important in life. But, you know, my dad ended up giving me the greatest gift ever when he parted. I remember him, you know, I remember communicating with him. I couldn't hear words out of his mouth, but he was saying, I could hear what he was saying. Still this day, I don't understand how I could hear something where nothing was coming out of his mouth, but he was communicating to me. And it was his way of telling me, sharing with me, don't make the same mistake I made. Life isn't all about how much money you make. It's the experiences you create. It's your family. It's the doing what you just said, Gordon, living your best self and enjoying the ride, enjoying the experiences, all the ups and downs. And that was the transformation in my life. That happened at the age of 31, where I turned my life around because I had struggled with 12 years of addiction. Up until that point, I was a mess, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I had success on the outside, but that was ready to come crumbling down because of all the mess that was going on inside me. But that turned my life around. And today I can say that I love being who I am, and I look at challenges as opportunities. I don't run away from them. I don't escape from them. And just hearing what you're sharing just totally reinforces that. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank you on behalf of all the listeners that are getting great value from what you're sharing.
Well, it's been a joy. I really appreciate being asked to explain some of what my life has been. Today, at 88, I'm becoming a writer. When I lost my wife in 2020 after 63 years of marriage and 65 years as a couple from juniors in high school, I enrolled in grad school here at Northwest Missouri. And I got a master's degree in English to go with my bachelor's degree in engineering. And I'd like to tell people that, you know, it only took me 60 years from 1963 to 2023 to squeeze 2 years of grad school into my life. But the result of that was a local daily or a local weekly published one of my little columns of 500 words, and I kept writing them. And they closed publication at the end of last year, but I'd written over 200 columns, so over 100,000 words of small essays on what it means to be successful. And my definition of success, even though the dictionary would say that success is achieving a goal, I don't think achieving all goals is the success you want. To me, our goal in life is to be helpful. And if you think about it, the only reason any of us are alive is because early on we were helped, mainly mom. If it wasn't for mom, none of us would have lived.
Yeah.
But so all through our lives, we have been helped. And so I think we've built up this debt that we need to help others as best we can.
Yeah.
And the way we help them most, I think, is to encourage them to live as the originals they are.
Love it. I love it. And I love how you said, that your mother, mothers are great role models, and they do instill that empathy and kindness and that ability to help. And it is, and I've learned that as long as I help myself first, fill my cup, I can give more. And I can give more from my example. I can give more from my resources. And that's the gift that keeps on giving, because when you give without expectation, you receive without resistance. So it comes back from somewhere else, you fill your cup, and then you repeat the process. And I can say that I learned that also from my mother, who was also a giver. I wish my mother were more of a receiver but she's done that, gotten better over the years with that. And but I have to thank her for being a great mom. So thank you again for reinforcing that.
Well, we live in a society where people like evidence. They want proofs.
Yeah.
If you want a proof as to how important moms are, you watch the sports shows, and after the end of the show, when they're interviewing the winners, the players always say, "Hi, Mom." They never say, "Hi, Dad." It's always, "Hi, Mom."
Yeah. No, and it depends on the situation, right? Because sometimes, there could be some kids grow up with a single mom, right? Or they grew up with a mom and a dad. And there are rare cases where, they might have grown up with a dad because the mother maybe passed away early on, or, that type of thing. But no, it is so true. I know as we're getting near the end of the show, I want you to kind of, before we let people know how to contact you, what would you like to leave the audience here today with, anything that, like a message to kind of just really tie in everything that you shared about your life story and living as an original?
Well, the most important thing is to be yourself. I mean, Oscar Wilde said it best: be yourself. Everybody else is already taken. Bill Gove, who was a friend of mine, a professional speaker in the 80s and 90s, had a 17-word statement he used in his program he called "You Are Abundant," which is, you already have inside of you everything you need to be successful and to celebrate your aliveness. That we already have every gift we need within us to be and live as who we are successfully. And my definition of success is that I am successful when I'm being helpful to myself, to others, and to the planet. And if I can focus on those three things, myself, others, and the planet, and be helpful in some way for all three, then I am a success.
Wow, love it. Well, Gordon, this has been a wonderful, 30 minutes with you. I want to thank you personally for not only myself, but for the rest of the team here at the Touch of Life Foundation and TALRadio for being here. I want to give this opportunity for the audience to, if they want to connect with you, what would be the best way they can connect with you? What are you up to, and anything you like to share or provide our listeners here?
I don't keep a very high profile. I like to tell people I'm just a simple country boy from Missouri living low on the hog. I get up every morning. If the coffee pot works, it's going to be a good day. And I'm 88. I mean, geez, I'm 10 years beyond what the actual aerial tables say I'm supposed to be. But so I'm on LinkedIn as Gordon G. Hill. I've started a Substack, but I haven't done much with it. It's called Living as an Original, but it's Gordon Hill at Substack.com. I like to interchange with people, but my role is very simple. I think the most important things we can do is encourage others to live as who they are, being helpful to themselves, others, and the planet. And the most important thing of all is to live as who you really are, to take time every day to sit down and block everything out and say, wait a minute, who am I? I have 5 questions in one of my models. What's it about? What is all of this about? What's the cosmos about? What's Earth about? What's life about? What's my life about? What's your life about? And who am I? Where am I going? And how will I live? And some very famous guys, Howard Thurman and Paul Tillich, had an interchange years ago. And they said the two most important questions in life are, where am I going? And who will go with me? And if you get those reversed, you are in deep, deep trouble. Because if who's going with you is more important than where you're going, you're off course, you're lost. So where am I going? Well, I'm going to go write today. I've got another article I'm trying to put together for my LinkedIn newsletter.
Beautiful. Well, we want to encourage everybody to reach out to Gordon. Do subscribe to his Substack. Just some valuable wisdom here today. We always love when people like Gordon come on. They're very genuine, very forthcoming and authentic in what they share. So again, we hope you received a lot of value. And again, share this particular episode with people that you feel can benefit from it. We are on Spotify, Apple, as well as YouTube with the video portion, and of course on TALRadio.org. Again, you can listen to this show in any format that you feel best suits you. We want to thank everybody again for being here, especially our new guests and our loyal listeners since we started back 5 years ago. We'll be back next week here at the same day and time. And everybody has a great rest of your day, and take care.